The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
You say that you're a big fan of Donald Trump.
I'm a friend of Donald Trump's. He's a New York icon.
You've actually been quoted saying you're a big fan, but let me ask you, do you take him seriously as a presidential candidate, and what do you think of him making such a big deal about the issue of whether or not Barack Obama was born in the United States?
Look, anybody can run for president if you're 35 and an American citizen and born here. The president was born here. This birther issue is more than one person. There's a lot of groups that have glommed onto this. I think the Republicans are making a terrible mistake in making this a big issue. We have immigration, we have the deficit, we have the economy. Those are the things that the public cares about. My girlfriend always says that it's all about housing and jobs. My house, my job. That's what the public cares about. And if the Republican Party doesn't start addressing that, they will lose, and they deserve to. Here's an opportunity for both parties and for the president to take a look and say, look, guys, we've been sitting around, we've been talking back and forth, we've been fighting, it's good theater, but the country can no longer afford this. The American public is smart enough to understand that. Let's focus on the main issues.
One of the big issues for you, and I think for all of America, is immigration reform. You say we need the 12 million illegals who are already in this country. In fact, you say, and this is a quote, our economy would crash without them. And you support a path to citizenship.
I do.
Question, isn't that amnesty?
You can call it what you want, but number one, let's get real. We're not going to deport, and I think the number today is probably less than 11 million people. We're not going to deport them. They're going to be here. So let's find a path where they can contribute more to the country. Sitting around and yelling and screaming about something that was created by Congress in '86, where they passed a law saying we're going to stop the illegals coming into this country, but then deliberately did not fund any kind of an enforcement, leaves us with 11 million rather than the 2 million we had then. And 10 years from now, we're going to have 20 million unless we get serious. There's a ways to solve the problem. You make sure that companies have a ways to explicitly find out whether a potential employee is a citizen, and then you enforce the law saying that unless they are a citizen, you can't employ them.
No, let me just interrupt there, because you're suggesting that their Social Security card
should have a fingerprint? Chris, you can buy a Social Security card on the street for $50. Let's get serious here. You have to be a card. In this day and age, you have to have a card that can't be counterfeited.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.